Baby.
Hi everybody, welcome to Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Merry Crisis.
Happy Chrysler.
It is really Merry Crisis this year.
It really is.
It's really Merry Crisis.
Also, I had to look on my calendar to double check, but this podcast comes out on the first day of Christmas.
Oh wow, really? December 1st?
Yeah.
That's nice.
So, despite our episode last week talking about how we were tired of Christmas, now we're going to do a whole month of Christmas.
I'm tired of Christmas just encroaching every other holiday.
Yeah.
I do enjoy Christmas, genuinely.
Right.
I think it's fun.
I've been being a Grinch about it, because that's just how I feel about this time of year. But then, once we actually get into the Christmas season, towards the end
This is fine.
of November and after, Thanksgiving and kind of towards the beginning of December, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm ready.
Right.
But when it's, August, I just want to fight everybody.
Right.
Stop.
I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. Because I love Halloween, but Halloween stays in its month.
Right. Some people try to push that boundary, but I also feel like the reason that happens with Halloween is because Christmas encroaches on Halloween.
And also because spooky is an aesthetic that can be used throughout the year, and I don't mind it.
And you kind of get
into... It is very only for Christmas time.
Yeah. Because even, I feel like you kind of get into, the fall vibes, and you're like, oh yeah, fall's just spooky.
Yeah.
You get, it's, foggy,
Crisp
everything is kind of
fall
dying,
air.
and, that's, ooh, spooky.
Spooky.
And then, the days become shorter, it's dark all the time, you're like, oh shit, oh, it's spooky. And then it's spooky month, and you're like, spooky!
It's all spooky all the time. But, yeah, I think...
But then Christmas is just a Christmas thing.
it's only Christmas,
there's,
really.
winter vibes.
Which are different from, Santa...
Yeah.
Candy
There's,
canes.
it's Santa versus snowmen, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Snowmen are not an exclusive,
Christmas thing.
It's,
winter thing.
It's winter.
I could think of log cabins and snowmen and snowflakes, and that's a winter vibe.
Yeah.
But then you get into reindeer and Santa and
bells and
lights and songs, and it's okay.
Yeah,
we can't have that
Christmas
all the time, please.
It's too much. It's you kind of said in the last episode that Christmas is kind of overwhelming, and you like that overwhelming feeling, but only for a little while.
Yeah.
It's I can only handle it for so much. It's really fun, but it needs to calm down.
Well, and I also feel that Halloween...
It's just like going to a fucking theme park.
Yeah.
I love Waterworld so much, but I can't be at Waterworld every fucking day.
Yeah. Well, and also, if it was just everywhere all the time, it ruins the experience. It's not special anymore.
Right, exactly.
I also think that Halloween has an overwhelming sense to it in certain things, jack-o'-lanterns and, very cheesy Halloween decorations. I very much love them, but I don't want to see them in the middle of summer either,
It's not an all-the-time thing.
Yeah. That's why holidays are special. They only come once a year, and that's all you need, really.
Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about some cozy shit today because it's freezing outside. We still have the window open because it's blazing hot in my room.
Too many bodies.
There's 6 bodies, as always, in here because all the dogs have to be in here with us, which I don't mind. But, yeah. It's starting to get chilly. My dad said it was gonna snow.
Yeah, it's supposed to snow on Thanksgiving, I think.
That's fine. But, yeah.
But anyway, we thought a good
cozy topic.
kind of segue into Christmas season, because Christmas is kind of synonymous with toys at this point, is just some tales about our favorite stuffed animals and toys that we've had.
Oh, are we doing toys too?
Man.
I have toys that I have stories about. I have one very specific toy that is probably going... I have two very specific toys that are just going to confuse everybody, so I'm going to have to take a picture of those.
Are they Gringer and Swords?
Yeah. They're Gringer and Gringer.
Yeah. Gringer and the Gringer that's not actually Gringer.
Yeah, because I'm very original, apparently. I don't even remember even naming half of the, stuffies that I have.
Yeah.
I just didn't name them. I was just like, friend.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, some of the ones that I'm going to talk about today are... I have to dig through my pile.
Yeah, she literally, brought in a huge
pile
and just set them on my dog.
I don't want to talk about them behind their backs.
Behind their backs?
This one is named Dog.
Oh.
This one is named Wolfie. That's, if it makes you feel any better about not being original.
I just, refuse to name them. Every horse that I owned was black, so it was always Black Beauty. That's it. Not real horses. I wish.
You just have several black horses in real life, and you're like, all of them are the same name.
Honestly, that would make me like a witch or something. You meet somebody with only black horses, and they're like, yeah, they're all named Jerry. What? Your horses are named what? Yeah, this is Jerry 1 and this is Jerry 2. You can tell because
one brown horse and his name is Gary.
He's like a dark brown, so you can't pick him out at first, but then they all come towards you, and you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, this is Jerry and Gary and Jerry. Bitch, what the fuck?
I kind of want to be that person. I love that they're like regular human names too.
It just made me think of fucking Scrubs when they get like new interns and Kelso gives them all the same name except for the one that's like, wait, but that's actually my name, so he calls her Schmeckledorf.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just like whatever generic. I don't remember what the generic
It was like
name.
Sport or like Sweetheart or something.
No, he like gave them actual names where it was just like all the boys are like
different episode.
All the boys are John and all the girls are whatever. I don't remember what the names were. Some generic names.
Schmeckledorf.
Wait, that's my actual name. Well, just out of fairness of all the other interns, I can't call you that. So now you're Schmeckledorf. I love that show.
It
still holds up.
It's still pretty good. It's one of my very favorites.
Yeah. It's a good like comfort show. It's just silly.
So tell me about Wolfie.
Okay. Wolfie is, you may have guessed, a wolf. He's actually a puppet. I found...
Oh, is that why he's kind of shaped kind of weird?
Yeah.
Like...
He also, so...
Oh my god.
I actually found at, what is that store in the mall called? Jack's? That one that's kind of like the cupboard, but also like an outdoors whatever. It's where Sears used to be. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I found like one of these puppets there when they opened. I didn't know he was a Folkmanis puppet, which Folkmanis puppets are super expensive and like nice, and they're all very pretty. Aww. He's not pretty anymore because my mom put him in the dryer once and it like frizzled all of his hair and his whiskers. Yeah, so, like his whiskers are all curled and he looks all frizzy.
He just looks like a very well-loved
Yeah,
stuffed
he's very
animal.
old. He was not originally mine. He was my brother's, but I just love him too much, so I would always steal him until my brother gave up on taking him back.
Is that what you did with Bella?
No, Bella kind of got abandoned, and I was like... Also, this was a different brother.
Oh.
I don't have any of the others here, because my dad likes them more than I do. We had so many fucking puppets. Like, last time I went over to my parents' house to look for Al again, I found just, like, a huge laundry bag, and they're just full of all of our puppets.
It's kind of adorable, but a little bit disturbing. Like, puppets in the way that I'm thinking is probably not right.
No.
To what you have.
They're all cute puppets.
Okay.
Like, they're all just animal puppets.
They're all just, like, plushies with holes in them that you can, like, use to talk.
Yeah. My dad fucking loves puppets. It's so cute.
Cute.
We used to get him out, and he would just, like, play with them so much. He still does. I've bought my dad puppets, like, since I've become an adult, and he, like, takes them to work.
Aww.
It's not as cute when you realize how he uses them, but...
What does he do?
He just uses them to be an asshole. Like, it's hard to find my dad puppets that he can use, though, because he has giant, meaty dad hands. They don't fit in regular puppets.
With big, meaty claws.
Exactly.
Well, maybe if some of us weren't playing with big, meaty claws.
Well, these claws are made for just more than just attracting mates. Water.
What did you do with your water? Stay hydrated, everybody.
Oh, there it is. It's just under all of my stuffed animals.
Everything has just been buried into the void of stuffed animals. Even my dog. He's given up on life.
But anyway, so, fun story behind Wolfie. So, I went to Catholic school. And every year, our church and the school would do, like, a special thing for St. Francis Day. St. Francis is the patron saint of animals.
Aww.
And the church would do a thing where you could go, like, on that weekend and bring your pets to the church and have them blessed.
That's really cute.
Yeah, and at school, that was the first time Trout met a horse.
Aww.
She was a very small puppy, and one of the teachers who worked at the school would always bring her horses, which was really funny. Such a fucking Wyoming thing, just to, like, have horses standing downtown in the churchyard. But I just remember, like, Trout seeing these giant dogs and just being like, whoa!
Holy
what
shit.
is that thing? Holy shit! But anyway, so we would do basically the same thing at the school. Like, kids were allowed to, for that day, bring their, like, favorite stuffed animal to school. And then when we do morning prayers, they would bless the stuffed animals.
Aww.
And it became a tradition for me to bring Wolfie, because the first time that I did, I remember, like, going into the auditorium, and the priest who would always do morning prayers was, like, by the door chatting with everybody and greeting everybody as they came in, and he saw the puppet because I was playing with him, and he goes, "Hey, can I borrow that?" And I was like, I mean, I guess. Like, am I going to say no to the priest? Sure. And he used him to tell the story of St. Francis and the Wolf.
Oh.
And then it just became a tradition that I would bring him every year, so Father Gary would tell the story of St. Francis and the Wolf with my wolf puppet.
That's so cute.
Right?
That's adorable.
Right?
I think Wolfie deserves a description from an outside perspective. He is he's kind of flattened a little bit, but...
Yeah, he's squished from cuddles. He's also, like, in laying down position.
Yeah, he's laying down. He's this pretty, like, gray-white color, and he's got adorable tiny eyes.
Right? He looks like an old man.
And he really does. He's got a big nose, and then his whiskers are like curled because they were in the dryer, apparently. And then he's got the 2 ears, but one of them's a little sideways. It's so endearing.
Yeah,
he's
he used
so
to
beautiful.
be, like I said, before he went into the dryer, he used to be really fluffy.
Aww.
And then it just, because of the way that this type of, like, stuffy fur is, just got, like, singed in the dryer.
He's very endearing. I love him.
He's well loved.
He also reminds me of Knight because he has a little fox face and the curly whiskers. Like, he just looks like Knight.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
He's also good for cuddling. Like, a lot of puppets just aren't shaped right for snuggling, but he's just, like,
squishy.
the right shape.
Yeah. She keeps making him clap at me.
His feet are just shaped just right for that.
It's like clapping.
He's even got little pads.
He does. Very sweet. Toys tend to just have a lot of personality, and I think that's really endearing, and it's really good for creativity and imagination to keep that.
Yeah.
Really.
And it's like, it's kind of funny how you sort of assign a personality to them. Like, even before looking like this, just always in my mind was like, old man.
He's got that, like, gray old fur.
Yeah. Wise Grandpa Wolf.
Will tell you stories.
Yeah.
Okay. What next?
Your turn.
Oh, my turn?
You can take turns.
I guess I'll talk about, would you mind handing me the little... Yes. So I used to have 3, but I now have 2 of these tiny little, like, scaly creatures, but they're not actually scaled, but
they're actually really soft.
They're so soft, and they just, like, fit in the palm of your hand. I have a dragon and a 3-horn now. They're just super soft and really tiny. Little, just a red dragon. He's got gold horns. And they're just, like, they're really floppy and fun to mess with. So the story behind these guys is they were the first things that I bought with my own money. And I think my brother took me to the mall, and I was taking my time picking them out because I thought, it was the first time that I had, like, $100 because my grandpa was like, here you go. And I was like, sweet, I'm rich. So, I think it was, like, Christmas money or birthday money. So my brother was like, all right, I'll take you to the mall. We can spend our money. Because he also got money, of course. And I bought a couple of things, but these ones just really stuck out, and I've kept them for forever. Because they're just, I don't know, they're comforting to have around. They're really soft. And they're really small. Like, you can literally just, like...
They just fit so nicely in your hands.
Their body is literally the size of my palm, and their legs just, like, hang off of it, and they got,
like, beans in them,
yeah,
so they're,
like,
weighted a little.
Little weighted beans. They're like, what are those stress toys? But, yeah. They're one of my favorites because they're just adorable and nice to keep around my desk and things. And I don't know. I never name them because they would just have bad names. Or maybe I did name them, but they were just like Drake and or Draco and This one still has his... Oh, this one still has his tag. His name is Crusher, which is actually very cute.
Pretty solid. That would be the 3-horn, by the way.
Yep. They don't have, like, a super great story. They were just one of the first things that I bought, and I've loved them for forever, you know. Played many stories in my head with them because they were small enough to, like, play with my Barbies or my Littlest Pet Shop or whatever. But yeah, that's them. It's your turn now.
This is my oldest toy.
I'm disturbed.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. I don't like it.
I don't disagree with you. This is the oldest toy I can ever remember having. Her name is Aggie. She's a Cabbage Patch doll. She's like one of the oldest Cabbage Patch dolls. She really is not like a pretty toy. But I was never like much of a doll person. Like I didn't really have Barbies or, I mean I'm sure I did, but I don't really remember having them. I always had like stuffed animals, but I never cared about dolls. But I just, for as long as I can remember, had Aggie. And she was, for a long time, just like I took her everywhere. She had a stroller that I would load with her and then a bunch of other plushies and just cart them around. I don't know what happened to the stroller, and I just like, she lives in my closet and I kind of feel bad because it's one of those that like I just store away because I don't really like to look at her either anymore, but like I can't bring myself to get rid of her because
you had her for
there's
forever.
Just that like, I don't know.
It's a part of you can't get rid of.
Also, though, if you think that she's creepy, I think I threw it out finally. I used to have this doll that I don't know where it came from. It just had always, like, it was old and had been given to me, but from somebody.
I'm like, this is a supernatural being.
No, it just was like this fucking doll, and it was like kind of similar in makeup to this one, just that it had like a plastic face, and then it was like, but it was bigger, and its face was horrifying.
Oh god.
Like, do you think the Cabbage Patch doll face is kind of creepy? I mean, the face isn't that bad, it's just her weird tiny arms. Her crotch is hanging out.
Wow.
Look,
coochie
out. Coochie out. Like, the little dress is not long enough.
Oh, no.
But anyway, I just, like, as long as I can remember, had this fucking doll in my closet, and I hated it so much, but I was afraid to touch it. So it just was like, I would always close my closet door so it couldn't look at me.
Oh
like, I hated that thing so much. Literally, until I was, like, in maybe 8th or 9th grade, I had that thing in my closet before I finally was like, Mom, let me get rid of this fucking doll. I hate it.
This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
I hated that thing.
Yeah, that's rough.
But yeah, I just want, like, because I don't want to display her, because, I mean, part of it is just that she's so old, she looks kind of gross.
I mean, it's fine. I just have, like, a general distaste for baby dolls
Same.
specifically.
At least she doesn't have the weird eyes. I like the sound that she makes, though.
Yeah, it's kind of cute.
But, yeah, and she's just, like, oddly shaped. Because, just for a description, and maybe put pictures in. I'm not making any promises.
We'll see.
She's, like, I think a lot of newer Cabbage Patch dolls, even ones that were like made when we were little kids, because I think I was given her when I was like a baby or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they're bigger and, you know, you can dress them up and stuff, but Aggie is just like a little fabric plush doll with the plastic face.
Yeah.
With like a weird little bonnet, and her dress is attached to her and it is way too short. Like, her coochie just hanging out.
It's attached to her, and it's too short.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Right? Like, maybe it didn't used to be, and it, like, shrank in the wash or something. I don't know. But... or, like, she got stretched out. I don't know.
Wow.
And she's got, like, such weirdly short, tiny arms.
Yeah.
She's just so disproportionate and weird looking. But yeah, I just can't bring myself to get rid of it. Because it's just...
It's been there.
Always
That's like,
been there.
I have a little pink rabbit. It's not the greatest looking toy, but it definitely is like a baby toy or plushie. I showed it to you. It's like made out of like quilted sort of fabric, so it's easier to clean. I don't really remember it at all, but I still have it. Like, I don't remember carrying it around or anything, but I still have it.
Yeah.
Not one of my favorites.
I don't know if you could hear that in my mic, but Logan is being grouchy about having all my stuffed animals on top of him.
Logan is literally dying because he is just overheating and being crushed by a 20-ton weight.
He's being crushed by the weight of my childhood.
Same! Damn! Same! Me too, bitch, the fuck? But yeah. I guess, will you hand me the other one over there then? In my hands, I have that fluffy little white dog that every white family has. That every... What is on your tummy? What the fuck?
The fuck dog?
The fuck dog?
It really is though, like
it's just like
think of any sitcom family dog and like that's
it's
this
dog. Little white dog. Which, you know, they're cute. I get it.
It's just like, now that you mention it, it really is just like the generic white people dog.
Yeah. And
at least on TV.
He's kind of matted. He needs some desperate attention. But this is one of my very favorite stuffed animals that I have ever had. He is not cuddly because he has these wired, very stiff fairy wings on his back. And he has adorable little antenna on his head. And he has a little collar that says, "Forever Friends." And he is a little fairy puppy. And I got him when my mom and I used to just kind of roam around downtown because there weren't many stores that she could go into. And because, you know, she's always had these health problems. But this store downtown had a ramp, and I think it was like right next to the coffee shop or where it used to be. And it had a ramp up, and it was just filled with plushies and board games and just like adorable little things like that. And she got me this adorable fairy dog and 2 yellow fairy cats that I don't know what happened to them, but I have kept the fairy dogs because that's one of my very favorite memories, is just, you know, being able to go and do things with my mom. And that was kind of just a her and I thing too, because of course the boys didn't want to go with us because I don't like shopping. It's like, okay, you just shop for boring shit. That's why you don't like shopping.
Right?
But
I want to shop for cool shit, bitch.
But yeah, that's where I got him. And he's so matted, but he's so cute.
Yeah, that's just how you can tell, like, a Stuffy is well-loved.
Right.
Like,
he's still soft, but, like, he's very matted. One that's, like, matted, but also, like, clean is like, alright, you love this thing.
Yeah.
It's like a well-loved book. Like, the pages are worn in, but it's like...
the spine's all broken. And, yeah.
And he doesn't have a name. None of them have names.
I gotta talk about these two together. So I think in our dreams podcast, I kind of mentioned Tippy because I had a dream about losing her.
Aw, that's Tippy?
Yeah.
The famous Tippy.
Yeah, so she's so little. Sometimes I just
So
forget how
small.
little she is. She also just fits nicely in your hand.
Yeah, they just, like, they seem bigger when you're a kid, too.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
I guess because you're smaller.
Yeah.
Right. But, so Tippy or Tiffany, because that's how I thought you said the name Tiffany when I was little. I don't remember naming her. That's just like that's several of the ones that I have from like when I was little. I don't remember coming up with a name. It's just like, this has always been your name. I don't know. What are you doing?
Trout.
You got itchy face?
Itchy ears.
Anyway, please don't.
Does anyway.
I just don't want her to hit the table. I don't remember getting her. I just have always had her.
She's just...
I know that I had Aggie longer than I've had Tippy, but I don't remember getting either of them. I just sort of have that knowledge. But she must have been just like one of those little, I assume, like a Valentine's Day plushie.
Yeah.
Because she's got a little rose in her mouth and she has a cute little red bow around her neck.
She's so cute.
And she's just a little Dalmatian and she's got wire in her ears.
Oh, that's why they were kind of up. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's so cute.
They're not like attached to anything inside, so you can't like do a lot with them, but you can kind of move them a little bit.
She's so cute.
But she's like, I would take her everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Tippy. Obviously, if you listened to our Bad Dreams podcast, you would know that I was like so horrified at losing her that I lost her in a dream and woke up crying.
Yeah.
And then the other one that I have here is Dog. I actually remember getting Dog for I think my 5th birthday. And immediately as soon as I opened the present, decided, because of course I had Tippy with me, was like, they're sisters. And they are inseparable. Dog is like, and she's just a little black dog. She looks like a little black lab. And I wanted them to match, and so my mom found me, probably in the closet somewhere, this other little red ribbon to tie around her neck so that they could be twinsies, even though they're not the same ribbon. But
They're so cute. That is really cute, though.
yeah, I went through a period of time where I could not sleep without them, and also I just would take both of them literally everywhere. I remember on like 2 occasions being unable to sleep because I didn't have them with me, and one was because my brother's an asshole and he threw Dog up on our roof.
Ooh.
And we were like home alone at the time, and I was too little. So my parents' house, we used to be able to get up on the roof by climbing on the fence. You could stand on the top of the fence and then you could reach like the lowest edge of the house. But I was too short, so I couldn't climb up there yet.
Oh no.
And I was also too little to get out the ladder by myself, so I couldn't go up and get her. And I don't remember why, like my parents must have been out doing something and my other brother was babysitting us, and he was like went to try to tuck me in and put me in bed, and I just started like crying so much because I didn't have Dog.
No.
And Tippy was lonely and sad without her sister, so I like couldn't go to sleep. And I just remember my brother being like, why is she on where is she? And I'm like, she's on the roof. Why is she on the roof? Because Sam threw her up there because he's a jerk. Just being like, it's dark, I can't climb up on the roof to find your black stuffed dog.
Yeah.
You just have to wait until tomorrow. And I just like threw a whole fit and like couldn't go to sleep.
Oh.
And then on another occasion, there was a period of time where I just like, I had like a basket that I was carrying them around in with like little blankies, and just had them like nestled like a little nest, and I just would carry them around in this basket. And like forgot them, like, after school, like, forgot them in the van, and then didn't realize it until I went to go to bed, and I was, like, trying to tell my mom I had to go out to get them out of the car, and she was like, no, just get over it, just go sleep with someone else, and I was like, fucking can't. So, my mom wouldn't let me go out and get them, and then, but, like, I couldn't go to sleep, and I was probably, like, 8 at the time, or, like, 7, I don't know, and so I couldn't go to sleep without them, so I waited for everyone in the house to go to sleep, and then I snuck out to the car outside to go get them. And then I could go to sleep.
See, it's that simple.
Yeah.
Aww. That's valid, though. Like, I don't think that I was... Like, I could never pick one of my stuffed animals to just hang out with. Mm-hmm. So I would just, like, go to bed in a sea of stuffed animals.
I feel like I would go through... I still kind of do this. I would go through, like, a phase of being, like, these are the favorites at the moment. I still love everyone else just as much, but, like, you're the one who's getting the attention right now for, like, a few weeks. Or whatever. It would be longer when I was little because I didn't have as many.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
That's fair.
And then it just kind of goes through cycles where I'm like, okay, now it's your turn. Just whoever needs it the most. You just kind of feel it.
Yeah. I have a sad story next. Because it's just... I want it to really just show how much comfort that these little adorable stuffed animals bring. And so I still have one of these really soft polar bear plushies. And it came with a big plushie and a smaller plushie, and I think I still have the small one. But the way that I got these plushies was... I must have been, like, around 10 or so. Maybe a little bit older, but my mom and her friend and I were all in the car, and my mom was driving, and she was having some trouble breathing, so her friend called the ambulance and told my mom, hey, you have to pull over because you're swerving everywhere and we don't know what's going on. So she pulled over on College, which is, a busy road. Yeah. I specifically remember it was on College near LCCC. So it was, like... on,
out
like
there.
The super busy, like, out there road. But, she pulled over and, immediately chaos reigns. And, my mom's friend was just trying to, quell the kids and just calm everything down. I don't remember if my brother was with us, but I do remember it was my mom and her best friend at the time, and we pulled over, and soon the firemen showed up, and immediately I know something's wrong, but I'm, like, too young to know what's really going on, so I just started sobbing, like, uncontrollably. And so I'm sitting in the back. We used to have this Dodge van that had, like, the doors that pull back,
like,
and
sliding doors.
Yeah. So one of the firemen, like, heard me crying, and they're all talking to my mom and opening the doors and making sure we can get everything in line so that we can all go home and be okay. But one of the firemen opened the door and he was like, hey, I got something for you, and hands me this polar bear plushie with a little baby polar bear plushie in between its legs. And I just immediately was like, yes, and grabbed it, and I've had it ever since. It's just been such a form of comfort for me. It always really comes out when my mom goes into the hospital, so it's just one of those things that's immediately comforting. Like, even now.
Yeah. That just made me think of... Have you seen the episode of We Bare Bears where Grizz falls in love with the burrito?
No.
So, I'm trying to remember, like, the context. He, like, wins this giant, like, human-sized burrito.
Oh my god.
But then he doesn't want to eat it because it's, like, comforting. Because it's, like, this... It's, like, wrapped in foil. And, like, it's just this, you know... Shenanigans ensue because it's a cartoon. But at the end of the episode, it shows, like, when Grizz was a baby and he was stuck in a tree during a storm. And, like, he got rescued by, like, park rangers or whatever. And they had warm foil wrapped around their arms so that he would grab onto it.
Oh,
and it's
no.
just like, oh.
Maybe I haven't seen that one. I just have such a shit memory.
I've not watched that. We should catch up on that show because
Yeah.
it's so fucking good.
It
That just
really
made me
is.
think of that episode
Did
though.
you know there's a movie of it now?
No.
Yeah, there's a We Bare Bears movie.
I fucking love We Bare Bears.
It's very wholesome. It's a good show. But yeah, that's my polar bear and how I got her.
Who's next? I'm trying to go in order of like oldest. This here is Commander Duck. You wouldn't look at him and think, yeah, that's a duck. But he is. He kind of looks like a platypus.
A little bit, yeah.
But, like, you know he's a duck because he's got a duck butt and a scarf. Because only flying birds wear scarves. Flying birds and Opus.
And what?
Opus? He's a penguin. Have I not read you A Wish for Wings That Work?
No.
I will read you that
Okay.
next month because it is my favorite Christmas story.
Okay.
Maybe we could read them on the podcast. Except you can't see the pictures. Anyway. This is the goofiest looking stuffed animal.
I love him.
I love him so much. He has toe beans for some reason. He's a duck.
His, like, he literally has, like, webbed feet with little beans at the end of
Yeah,
them.
like he has, like, duck feet, but then they have toe beans.
It's
And
so
his
very
wings,
strange.
like,
His
they
wings
kind of
just
look like
paws.
paws.
Yeah.
And he's got, like, a big, chunky, like, bill that looks like a platypus. He looks like he's just made of so many different animals.
Maybe he is, like, platypus first draft.
I don't know. I've also tried to look up, because I don't remember where I got him. I got him when I was a little bit older. Like, I wasn't, like, real little. I don't remember on what occasion, or where he came from, or what. I tried to ask my mom, and she was like, shit, I don't remember either. Where the fuck did that duck come from? I've tried to, like, look up online, because, of course,
Yeah, I have tried. Like,
yeah. Of course, when I was younger, and I still do this, I would cut all the tags off of everything, because they're scratchy, so I don't want them there when I'm snuggling. And I kind of regret that now with some of my older ones, because I want to, like, look up the company and see what else they got. I've tried so hard to figure out where the fuck this duck came from.
I should try and
to figure out what company he's from and whatever, and I just have never succeeded. Cause like he's so funny looking. I just want to see.
So very strange. He's very unique.
Yeah, he's really cute, but he's just like so
cute.
Odd.
Yeah, he's got like, not only does he have like a duck, he's got like a very inverted, like, nose.
Yeah, like his bill is. Yeah.
He's
And
so
he's got all his
goofy,
little
but
scars.
so adorable.
He's so cute and just like funny looking.
He's
I also
this,
remember
like,
when
white duck,
yeah.
but he has like a little like lion tail poof.
Yeah, it's like orange. He's also wearing a Ninja Turtle like sweatband on his arm that I have for some reason. And he just
fits.
Yeah, he just has kind of always worn it. I always remember my dad would like to take him and put him on his motorcycle because of his scarf. Because he thought it looked so funny when he was like sitting on the motorcycle with just the scarf flapping in the wind. So like sometimes like I'd be playing with him in the morning or whatever, or even at night before I went to bed, and my dad would be like, "Can I take him to work tomorrow?"
That's so fucking cute.
He's like, he can come hang out with me at work while you're at school, and I'd be like, hell yeah.
Going on an adventure. The Stuck has been on so many adventures.
He really has.
He looks like a little adventurer, like a
does.
little pilot or something.
He also has like this little tuft of hair on his head that matches his butt poof.
It's like too far back, so it just kind of looks like he's got a rat tail. He's so cute though, like
He is.
Yeah, that's definitely like he needs some goggles.
Right?
He needs some goggles.
He's also just like, you can make him sit up like this and it looks funny, but also he can just like
flop. He's so cute. He's just, I love that.
Yeah.
I
And I
love
love
stuffed
his little
animals that
floppy
just flop. Oop,
paw wings that just... I remember I took him with me, whenever I go, like, travel somewhere, I have to bring a stuffed animal, and usually the stuffed animal will play the dumb selfie game with me.
Yeah.
And I took him with me... Oh my god. Remember when we could go places? At the beginning of the year, I went to... me and my mom and Emily went to Washington and spent a few days with my brother and sister-in-law, and I brought him with me. And I remember just... I do cute things, and then people acknowledge it without me realizing, and they're just like, oh my god, you're so fucking cute. I just remember sitting, like, on the plane, and I had him strapped in with me, and just sitting and doing stuff. Just absentmindedly. Just the same way,
You're just
remember...
like, it's like second nature for you to just like do adorable shit.
Like, you remember when we were playing Bendy and I had Boris and he just would do things while we were playing. Kind of like that. That I'd just be sitting there and like Commander Duck just be doing whatever, and Emily would look over and be like, you're so fucking cute, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know.
Sitting.
Hanging out.
Just sitting. Trial. It's okay.
Yeah, that's Commander Duck.
How did he get his name?
I have no idea.
It's just always been
like
Commander
I said,
Duck.
most of them, aside from, I have like some ones that I've gotten as an adult that I can remember the story behind their names, but like the ones from when I was younger, that's just always been their name. I don't know.
Fair. Do you realize we have like 48 minutes of
my
this
God.
already?
We're like,
We've like gotten 3 of each of ours. Like,
we've
what?
just been, because we just keep rambling.
Well, because they're adorable little stories and I like to tell them.
Yeah. This will just be a really long episode.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll cut it into 2.
Maybe.
I don't know. But
next is one of the most recent ones. I'm just going sporadically. One of the most recent ones, I got Pancake and Pod, and I got these stuffed animals. They are a manta ray, or not a manta ray, a stingray, and a little red octopus. And I got them both when we went on our wonderful, fantastical science trip. And I just always remember I got Pod at the butterfly pavilion.
yeah, I was like, you got him like at the beginning because
Yeah.
you carried him around.
Yeah,
You tied him in your hood.
Yeah, I took him around, and since it was still kind of chilly, I had a hoodie on, and I just put this little octopus in my hood.
Yeah.
And he just stayed there the whole time we were
I just
walking
loved
around
every time you
museum.
forgot he was in there. Because remember, you tied one of his legs up with your,
Just
like,
to
the
make
string of your hoodie so he
that
wouldn't
fall
disappear.
out.
But then you would forget that he was there, and we'd, like, get in the car, and you'd lean back and be like, what the oh, hey, buddy!
Oh, hey, Pod! What's up? He's just this adorable little octopus that I got. Was it last year? Jesus Christ, it seems so long ago.
Right.
It was last year, and we went to the Denver Aquarium, and we got to pet some stingrays, and I was like, okay, that was fantastic.
Yeah,
One of
you were,
my
like,
favorite.
so in love with them. And when we
was
went to the
so-
gift shop, you're like, I have to get one.
I had to, because they are just so very cute. I love them so much. I love Pancake so much. When I brought them home, I just, immediately they're going on my bed. They are the new babies. They deserve love. So, I left him on my bed for a while, and somebody ate one of his eyes. So, I have to get him a little eye patch, because I can't sew his eye back in, because it's one of those, like, plastic eyeballs. He's just gonna have a very cool pirate eye patch for the rest of his life. I love Pancake so much that I made fan art of my own plush as a pancake.
Actually.
And I love him so very much. He's one of my very favorite stuffed animals because he is tied to such a very good memory.
Yeah.
So that's
so
the story of Pancake and Pod. And of course, like, now I'm good at naming things. But I was not before.
Fair. This is Lauren.
Aww.
He is a very matted little pink bunny.
He's pink? Oh, I
He's
couldn't
pink.
see.
Yeah, we can't tell because he looks kind of brown because the light we have on in the room is green. He also just, like, I mean, he's pink, but he's like a rough pink anymore because he's very old. I remember, I don't know, like, where he came from exactly, but I remember when I got him, my mom, when she taught second grade, had just, like, a basket of stuffed animals that came from wherever the fuck that, her students could, like, hold them while she was reading or whatever. And I remember just, like, hanging out in her classroom after school one day and just kind of, like, playing with the stuffed animals and pulling him out of the basket and being like, I'm in love with him. Mom, I'm taking this home. And she's like, whatever.
I have to keep him.
Yep.
He has these adorable floppy bunny ears.
They're so floppy. And even though he's old, like, feel just like they're very velvety.
Oh, yeah.
The inside. His feet, the bottom of his feet kind of are the same. They're not as soft anymore, but.
He's
Because
still
I used
so
to hold him like
soft,
this and just like.
Hmm.
I do the same thing with Peter.
That's fair.
And just sit here with his ears.
He's
But-
so very cute.
And apparently even when I was, like, little, I just was like, fuck you, gender norms, because I saw this pink bunny, and I was like, you're a boy, and your name is Lauren.
He really looks like the rabbit from To the Moon.
Yeah.
He does. He's so very cute with his little floppy ears.
Also, if you haven't seen To the Moon on Netflix, absolutely watch it. It's
watch
so
it.
fucking
It's-
cute. It's so pretty.
Bring a
and
tissue box, though. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Watch it, but
Yeah.
bring a tissue box.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so cute.
And then he also, for a while, like, after that, was just I'm taking him everywhere.
Valid. I was always scared of losing them when I went out, so I just, like, didn't take my stuffies anywhere. Now I'm like, I'll be fine. They'll be fine. But before, when I was a kid, I was like, I'm so irresponsible. I would lose any one of you. Like, I don't want to take that risk.
I didn't have that kind of self-awareness. I never lost anybody, though.
That's fair. That's good. Wait a minute, is it my turn?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna group these two together because, a lot of these animals I just got from when my mom and I would go on different adventures around town and just be like, oh, well, I'm just, hanging out with you and I love you, so yes, I will buy you the thing. So, I got this very, very orange, this is one of my very favorite stuffed animals that I've ever owned. He's very well loved and matted.
I just want to point out, like,
places.
another way that you can tell that a stuffy is so well loved is when they become deformed.
His neck is like, his head is like embedded into his back. This is a Bambi plushie, and we all know. Well, I guess our viewers may not know, or listeners. Nobody's viewing shit. Our listeners may not know I'm obsessed with deer, and I have been for a very long time. I think I got this when my family went to Six Flags with Emily. And we, did the normal stuff, but, like, to get into Six Flags, there was, like, this little shop opening, and I just, like, spotted him across the room, and I was like, I have to have him. And my mom was like, okay. So she bought him for me, and Emily and I ran around just because Nick was able to bring one of his friends, and so my mom was like, all right, you can bring one of your friends. And I still have this, like, reel of pictures of me and Emily, and I am in all camo as a child.
So, I mean, nothing has changed.
I will not be spoken to like this. But, like, I had this whole outfit of just, like, olive green camo. And, like, even the little backpack that I had was olive green camo. And I had camo shorts and, like, a camo vest and, like, a hat that was also camo. And we went and we got our faces painted. And I think I had, like, a butterfly or a tiger. One of us had a butterfly, the other one had a tiger painted on our face. And we're just like, this camera reel, it's just Emily and I being really awkward, like, preteens, just sitting in this, like, bus ride thing, where we're just like, oh, hey. And I pretty much just looked straight up like a little boy, like, I had,
That's
like,
what,
short blonde hair and,
all
like,
of my, like, pictures of me as a child, I just look like a little boy.
Yeah. I mean...
With oddly, like, contrasting features because I spent all of my childhood outside, so I had very bleach blonde hair and very dark skin. Which is exactly the opposite of what I look like now. Now when I go out in the sun and you look at my skin, you're like, oh god, my eyes!
Fair, me
I'm
too.
blind!
I used to tan a lot when I was a kid. Now I just burn.
I know. I would get so dark.
Yeah. My skin's just not used to it anymore because
Yeah.
I'm a recluse. But anyway, that's how I think I got my Bambi plush, and now he's still very vibrant for how old he is, but the joints where his front legs are just, like, completely empty of all fluff, because I used to just act like he was running all the time. I would just take him around the house and he would run, and that's all. Yeah, he's very treasured because I loved Bambi the movie, even though it was like really tragic. I was just like, yeah, this is my favorite.
It's got deer in it.
Yeah,
This is my favorite.
oh hell yeah!
This is arguably probably one of my favorite stuffed animals. If you look at him, you would assume that he's probably my oldest stuffed animal, and he is not. Not at all.
He is just the most
In fact,
adventured.
just to put these two next to each other, these are the same model
Oh my god!
with a different fabric, and they're not even the same size anymore.
Oh my god!
So the Stuffy in question is Tenchi. He's a tiger. He doesn't have stripes anymore. Which is, I'm not going to go into, I want to save it for our Good Dreams podcast that we'll do eventually. His name came from a dream.
Aww.
And the tiger in the dream had stripes that basically look like his do now.
Aww.
Where it was weird because it was like you could tell that there were stripes, but they were just like kind of a different orange. But yeah, so I got this tiger from work. He's a Douglas stuffed tiger with a little collar that I put on him. I got him at work, and I just remember specifically one day I was like doing recovery for closing. It was really slow. And I found, so they have the orange tigers like him, and then they have white tigers. And some kid had been carrying them around the store and then abandoned them. Found one of each of them, and I picked them up and like was kind of just carrying them around for a while I was fixing stuff up, and then I went and took them over to our area at Cash Wrap where we would put like the reshelves and stuff, and was just chatting with the cashier, and I just had been holding him for so long I couldn't put him down. And I was like, we're friends now. And I just remember because I had the orange one and the white one, and I had set the white one down and then continued to carry the orange one for some reason. So like I just was like, I put it down and then like because I had to use my hands for something else, but then I just kept carrying him because just out of habit, like I forgot to put him down, and just was carrying him around the store for like a while. And then I would just like got attached. And I remember going up and like chatting to the cashier and being like, I can't put him down now. I think I have to buy him. And she was like, cool, because the white one that you put down, I think I want to buy that one. It's like, I don't remember if she ended up actually buying him or not. And then on top of that, I was like trying to, so this at the time, because Barnes & Noble is like a billion years in the past, the individual stores until like a couple years ago weren't allowed to have like social media accounts. And I thought that was just stupid because like that's, I mean, community outreach, right? So I kept trying to convince one of my managers that we should start like social media pages for the tiger, and he would just be like our mascot, but it's not Barnes & Noble, it's the tiger. He just happens to live at Barnes & Noble and talk about all of the things that are going on. So I just, in an effort to make this happen, and I had the one manager on board, like totally, but then she couldn't convince the others. I just carried him around. I would take him to work every day and just carry him around for like 2 weeks. Because I just kept being like, look at the things we could do with this tiger. And then, do you guys remember also, like, when I got him, it wasn't just at work. I literally just carried him around.
He was everywhere. So cute. He was just like a normalized, like, you'd have him in your backpack or whatever. Yeah. He was our adventure buddy.
Yeah.
And I think that should just be normalized. Yeah. If you got a plushie, just take him with you sometimes. Wherever.
I have the habit of, especially when it's cold out and I can wear hoodies, I just shove them in my hoodie just like so they hang over the zipper, and I just carry them around like that.
I just like, I don't know. I have this fear of people looking at me and judging me, so I'm like, oh, I can't have friend with me. Friend is only for home.
I just do it. But Yeah, and then he just like, I've like just cuddled him and like taken him so many places that even though he's only like 4 years old, he looks like he looks older than Tippy.
Yeah, he does. He
Like,
looks so old.
He's like so
very
matted and
well-loved,
he's
though.
deformed in his face. Like he's not the same size that he used to be anymore, and like his face is all smooshed.
He kind of looks
He used to be
like,
so fluffy and soft. He's not soft at all anymore. And like I said, his stripes are gone and like all the white parts are just gray and dirty.
he just looks like, you know, those like alley cats.
Yeah.
That are just like super old.
Yeah.
They like come around and you're like, oh man. They meow and it's like meow. He kind of looks like that, but he also looks like such a sweetheart. Like he's been through hell, but he still cares.
Yeah. He's there for me.
I think we need more plushies. I will never.
I don't need more plushies.
I will
but,
never get upset by somebody buying me plushes because I'm just like, I get it.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, I have so many. Mainly the ones that I do have, I just have from you guys or gifts that were given to me. Like,
yeah. I feel like most of my favorites, at least that I've gotten as an adult, are ones that I've at least been present for the purchase of.
Yeah.
Because it's just like...
It's like they
just
you
like, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
You just...
It's just like, leading into my next one, I guess. Just why you have to be around sometimes. We were in Fort Collins at this... It was like
Nature Zone.
Nature Zone. Is that Nature Zone?
Yeah.
But,
with the dinosaur where Harold lives?
Yeah, where Harold lives. This store that has, like, several different things, like rocks and fossils, and then it has, like...
It is a chain that many people have maybe seen before. I've seen the different stores that have a different dinosaur figure in the window. Ours has a T-Rex.
I didn't know if it was like a chain, but it's got
I didn't know either until I saw one in Breckenridge.
Oh.
And they had a velociraptor in the window.
Nice.
Anyway,
but, you know, it's got like plushes and stuff. I just I grabbed this bat that literally just like shaped like a bean.
Yeah.
With wings. And I just, like, grabbed him and just was, like, carrying him around the store, but I didn't have any money, so I was like, okay, I have to, like, detach. And Emily was like, no,
yeah.
I'm buying it for you. And that's how I got Goblin, my adorable little bean-shaped bat that I love very much.
Yeah. See, and that also, basically the same story with Wylan.
Yeah.
Remember, we were like hanging out in Old Town for my birthday, I think.
Oh, I was like, was it for birthday or was it Christmas?
I think it was my birthday. And again, we went to Nature Zone. And so Wylan is an African wild dog.
He's so very cute.
He's so cute.
I think he's my favorite of yours.
He's so cute. And he's like, I love his colors. Anyway,
yes.
He's got such big ears.
Yep.
This is from when I turned 87.
Oh, wow.
I'll go into why I remember that in a second. But, like, yeah, I just remember I, like, picked him up out of the bin and just was, like, in love with him. And I was like, but I can't afford him. And so you were, like, because I think you bought him.
I think you're right.
You did, because I was like, I don't have any money, but I love him so much. And you were like, well, I didn't get you a birthday present, so I'm going to buy him for you. And I was like, okay. And then I just carried him around Old Town. What sticker do you have? Oh, he has a Rosie sticker.
Aww.
That's from Science Strip. But then he also was wearing a Spider-Man shirt from Build-A-Bear, because after we got done in Old Town, we went to Build-A-Bear. And I think that was the first time I think you went to Build-A-Bear.
That was the first time I went to Build-A-Bear. So Emily was like, I have to get you something. This is the first time you went to Build-A-Bear. So I got a plushie on your birthday.
Because I don't think I bought a bear when we went that time. because it was
think you just
when
bought a
Spider-Verse
shirt for
came
him.
out, so I wanted specifically to go there to buy a Spider-Man outfit for Peter.
Right.
And then I
for
also
Peter.
remember when we were, because I think the only bear that we got was yours, and then I bought clothes, and
Yeah.
one of them is this Spider-Man shirt that Wylan wears,
Mhm.
and a Spider-Man like suit for Peter. We'll talk about in a minute, but I just remember when we were at Build-A-Bear and you were getting your bear stuffed because it was your Yoshi, right?
Yeah.
And you were getting him stuffed, and the lady who helped us that time was so
cute.
fun. And
she was like,
I just
you told
remember-
her that it was my first time being there, and she was like, "Oh, dude, we gotta do the ritual." I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah. And then one of you mentioned that it was my birthday.
I think I was like, yeah, she's 87.
Well, no, I remember she like asked if I wanted a sticker, and I was like, hell yeah. And she was like, cool, how old are you? And both of us in unison, monotone, went 87. And she was like, well, all right.
All right.
Wrote it down. I still have that sticker, I think, somewhere.
Didn't you
On
put
something.
it like, yeah, I was like, didn't you put it on like your fridge, your mini fridge?
Yeah, I think I have it attached to something
Something.
or other.
But
That was so fucking
us just this poor lady was just like, all right then.
And then I also remember when we went up to the counter to pay, and the other lady was like, damn, you looking pretty good for 87.
Yeah.
And I was like, thanks, babe. Also, I just remembered when, after we bought Wyland, we also, like, a couple doors down from Nature Zone is a tea shop that I like to go to that sells loose leaf tea.
Hell yeah.
And I remember we went in and I had him stuffed in my coat like I do. And the girl at the counter when I was like paying for my tea was like, oh my god, he's so cute. Where did you get him? And I was like, oh, my friend just got him for me for my birthday over at Nature Zone. And she's like, that's so cute. What's his name? And that's immediately when I decided what his name was.
Aw, that's the best.
Yeah, that I just like went, because I kept like looking at it and being like, I don't know. Because I do this thing, I often, when I'm naming things, will like pick a letter that goes with it. So since he's an African wild dog, I was thinking about W. But yeah, just like at the counter, she's like, oh my god, what's his name? And I went, Wyland. And she's like, oh my god, that's so cute.
So cute.
Also, Wyland came with us on science trip
Yeah.
because I wanted him to see other African wild dogs, and they didn't have any in the museum.
it was so
Which
sad.
was sad. But that's why he has an I Met Rosie sticker.
Yeah.
And he's in all of our dumb selfies
Yeah.
from science trip.
And so were Pancake. Well, Pancake and Pod show up during
Yeah.
those. That's just like, that's the best time to name something. It's just like off.
On the fly.
Yeah.
I
Just
also
offhand.
remember when we were at the museum and I was carrying him around, I had so many people ask me where I got him because they thought he was so cute. He is so cute.
He is so
I
cute.
just remember
He's
being
so
stopped by
cute.
so many people being like, oh my god, that's adorable!
What is that? Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites. Just because, so cute, big
so
ears.
Those big ears and the like marble pattern of his
He's
fur.
so pretty, honestly.
He is, and
Like
he's so soft.
he really does look like a wild dog. Which
Yeah.
African wild dogs are so pretty.
Yeah. Well, and this brand, they're Wild Republic. I had to think about it for a second.
Yeah.
I couldn't think if it was World
They do
Wildlife
really
Fund
good.
or Wild Republic, but they're so good. That's what most of the ones at Nature Zone are,
Yeah.
and they're like all of their plushies are so good.
Mm-hmm. That's just how I named Lamson. Is just like right off the
Yeah.
right off my head. So I have this giant lamb plushie, and I think my dad got it for me for my birthday because my birthday is by Easter. So I was just, his birthday, have giant lamb, and I was like, sweet. And I didn't name him for a very long time, and then I was just like, you know what? Your name is Lamson. Because he's a lamb and he is my son. He's just, he's so big and cuddly. He's so perfect. Just he's in one of those positions where it's just like he's the floppy
just
kind,
like flopped out, yeah.
and
he's just like the right shape for hugging.
Yeah, he's so good. He helps me draw, so I put him on my lap, and he like helps hold my tablet, and he's just a perfect little lamb boy.
Yeah.
He's also still really soft, even though I got him like a long time ago. But that's Lamson.
Okay, Peter has a traumatic past.
Oh no.
You've heard this story before. Because I tell fucking everybody. So, Peter is a Peter Rabbit plushie. He's a big boy. And we had them at work when that god-awful Peter Rabbit movie came out.
I remember this story now.
When that movie came out, we got a bunch of, like, classic stuff, which is one of the reasons that I think that movie is so trash is because the original, like, artwork and everything for Peter Rabbit and also just the stories are so good and would have lent themselves so well to traditional animation, and then they just, like, made it Alvin and the Chipmunks but with a rabbit, and I just think that's a disgrace. But anyway, so we had these big Peter Rabbit plushies, and because they're big, they're expensive, and I wanted one so bad because I love Peter Rabbit. And so I, again, would just kind of carry him around while I was at work, because I was waiting for him to, like, go clearance once, like, after Easter was over and all of, like, the hype for the movie had gone down. I was like, he'll probably go clearance eventually, because nobody really buys the big ones because they're expensive. But also I just refused to, I was the kids lead at the time, so I was in charge of this shit, and I refused to put him on the Peter Rabbit table. We had a couple, and I had this one, and I was like, he's mine. And so I would carry him around while I was working, and then I would leave him on my desk when I left. And it got to the point where my ASM at the time told everybody that Peter is my son, and no one was allowed to touch him or try to sell him. She'd be like, don't sell Peter, it's Grace's son. But anyway, so he pretty much lived on my desk, and I came in one day, like one morning, and so the desks, by my desk I mean like the little computer kiosks that we have to like look shit up. And so I come in one morning to get on my computer, and there's like, I also just had an array of little toys and stuff on my desk that would be like little, like when kids would lose them or whatever, I would just put them on my desk, and maybe somebody will come back and find it, or if not, that I just have this friend. So I go and look at my desk, and like all of the toys are all over the place, and then Peter is like face down on the keyboard, and I was like, what the fuck? And I picked him up, and some kid had enough time away from his parents to dig through my desk and find a Sharpie to draw titties and a penis on Peter's tummy.
Oh my god.
Like on this, which he belonged to the store at the time, and just was like completely ruined. That this kid just with a Sharpie like drew all over. And I just remember like I picked him up and I was like so sad. If I could cry, I probably would have. And I just like stormed into the office and was like, look at this! Look what they've done to my son! And then I spent the first like 2 hours at work trying to clean him off with the dish soap that we had in the break room. And then I I just like didn't even do any work that day. And then was like, I'm taking him home. Like, we can't sell him. He's gonna have to be damaged out, and I am taking him home. We're not supposed to do that. Whatever, because they would rather we just throw stuff in the garbage because capitalism. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I just like went to my managers and was like, you have to damage him out, and I'm taking him home. He's mine. He is my son, and I'm going to clean him. And I remember sitting there, I like tried to wash him with dish soap at work and got some of it off. like smudged it a lot, and then came home and was using like one of those fucking like Tide stain remove sticks that I just like scrubbed him for so long, and then washed him and like scrubbed him again and then washed him again until it like pretty much went away. You can't really see it now. You can't tell what the shapes were anyway, but he's got like black smudges on his tummy. And then he's just the right size to wear Build-A-Bear shirts. So I started just like buying him because he's Peter Rabbit. He has his little blue coat, you know, or his little sweater, but it shows his tummy. So I decided to go to Build-A-Bear and buy him shirts that would cover his scars, so no one has to know.
He is wearing a very adorable.
Yeah, I think I got
like,
this one. I think
sweater.
this was from like Frozen 2.
Yeah,
that it was like whatever the
guy from it.
Yeah.
Kristoff?
Yeah.
Is that?
It's either like him or the like the native tribe or whatever that they meet, like their attire. I don't know. But
yeah,
it's really cute.
Very cute.
He also has a Spider-Man outfit, and I remember when Spider-Verse came out, I took him to see it. I went to see that movie
so many
9 times.
I would honestly, if it came out in theaters again, I would go see it.
I made everybody go see that movie. I made you guys see it with me twice.
I have seen it like 3 times.
And then I also made a couple of the girls from work come and see it with me twice. And they were so satisfied because they got me to hang out with them outside of work. That was how I got like bribed to go do something with them. Because I'm just an antisocial person. And while I did really like these people that I was working with, I don't go out and socialize with, like, not the squad. Because it's just draining for me.
Yeah.
But they, like, bribed me to hang out with them by going to Spider-Verse with me. And then we just kept talking about it at work. And they were like, I kind of want to go see it again. And I was like, I'm in! And then I also went and saw it. I made Nat and Britt go and see it with me. And I went and saw it with Bree. I also went to see it with my mom. I saw that movie so many times. It's such a good fucking movie.
It's a great movie.
And it's just like, it's such a good theater experience, that movie. Like, I own it, and I still, like, I'll watch it every once in a while. But it's not the same to watch it on TV than it is.
Sometimes I'll just, like, get in the mood, because sometimes I'll just, like,
sometimes I hear Sunflower on the playlist, and I'm like, now I have to watch Spider-Verse.
I have to watch Spider-Verse. It's time.
But yeah, I remember I took Peter with me several of the times that I went to see it, because I wanted him to see the kind of Peter he could grow up to be.
Aww. The story of the Peters.
But yeah, that's Peter. That's my son. Also, I remember when I was carrying him around work, because I literally would just carry him around all day, there was a regular who would come in every once in a while, and also who I would see working at the library, so we were acquainted. But I remember, like, just doing my rounds in the store, and he was sitting in, like, the comfy chairs just vibing, and I, like, went back there and was like, hey, how you doing, whatever. And then before I walked away, he just was like, I like your friend. Is he your emotional support buddy? And I just looked down and was like, yes. And he's like, I get it.
It's like, yeah.
He really is. Also, despite having to be washed and scrubbed so many times, he's still so soft.
He looks real soft. I want to touch. So soft. That's how Snowflake is. Snowflake is my white bunny that is probably down at the vent because she just keeps falling off of my bed.
Trout, calm down.
And onto my vent.
Go lay down. I know it's hot in here, but...
But she's also very soft and just huggable. I don't know that I have many other, like, stories, because, like, either I don't remember how I got all of these plushes, or I just, like, I'm like, I got the elk on my Xbox for Christmas from you guys, and I got the deer up there for, I think it was a care package from you guys, and I got Cubone from you for my birthday, I think. But yeah, most of my other plushes are just gifts, and I cherish them because I don't know. When I look at them, they're great to cuddle, and I just think of, you know, all the people who love me. So that's really nice.
I have a couple more that have stories. I didn't bring him in here, but I have a Build-A-Bear Bulbasaur. Right now he's holding up a lot of other stuffed animals, so I didn't want to move him. He's strong.
Very strong.
He was my first Build-A-Bear.
Aww.
And I went there with Emily and Bree. I don't think you came with. Well,
No.
you wouldn't have because
my first Build-A-Bear was Yoshi.
Because we have never had a Build-A-Bear here in town. We have to go to Loveland.
Yeah.
So I just never got to go make one when I was little. But we went there just on a whim one day. And it was while they had the Bulbasaurs, and I remember Emily got a Toothless, because it was... No, it wasn't around the time... Well, around the time one of the How to Train Your Dragon movies came out, so they were doing those.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't remember what Brie got. I think she also got a Pokemon, but I don't remember which one. No. But I just remember that was my first Build-A-Bear.
Aww.
And I got to do the little ceremony because, again, they had told the person working that it was my first time doing it. And I felt so bad because, a lot of the bears, the hole that they fill them up through is in their back. But Bulbasaur has a bulb there, so his is in his butt. And when I had to put his heart in, I had to shove my arm up his butt. And it was funny because I remember the lady telling me, because I just was I'm just going to put it in there and let it go. And the lady was it's so funny when we get little kids who just insist that the heart has to be in the right place, because they're just all up in there for 5 minutes, put in the right spot. And you're just I feel so bad for this Bulbasaur.
He's just getting a colonoscopy.
Yeah, just by a fucking 5-year-old just reaching. Trying to put your heart where it's supposed to be.
Oh no.
I also just remember the next morning, all three of us had the same idea of texting the group chat and just sending a picture of us under the covers with our bears that we got. And, all three of us were just, I don't remember who sent the first one, but then the other two were just dude, fucking same, and just identical pictures.
Just cuddling. I remember that because I don't remember your picture really, but I do remember specifically Emily's with her Toothless.
Yeah. It's so cute.
It's so cute. So good.
And then my other one that I have a story behind. This is Penny with a Y. Penny with a Y is what Tenchi used to look like before he got loved too much. Because I said, they're the same brand and the same model or whatever, which is different animal pattern. But I remember when I got Penny with a Y, and the reason her name is Penny with a Y, it was one of my coworkers who was honestly one of my favorite people to ever work with. It was her last day at the store before she was moving. And previously, for several days leading up to this, she kept debating whether she wanted to get one of these leopards, or there's these, I can't remember what they're called at the moment, but they're a Funko Pop brand of stuffed animals, and I have one of them that I've showed you before. It's the Brittany bought it for me.
Oh, the bat thingy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all super cute, but they just never sold very well. But she really wanted one of them just because its name was Pickles.
Aww.
But she was more attached to having the leopard. And I just remember specifically that, like, when she wanted to buy one or the other and then ended up deciding not to buy them because she didn't have the money
Aw.
at the time. But she just kept talking about how she wanted one of them, and she wanted Pickles because she liked the name Pickles, but on the tag of it's spelled Pickles with a Z, and she kept being like, but that's stupid to spell it that way. I want to call it Pickles with an S. But then she decided she didn't want that plushie, and she wanted to get a leopard instead, and we had two of them, and I also wanted one of the leopards. So I decided on her last day to buy both of them so we would have, like, buddies.
Aww.
And so I bought them, and then I put little stickies on them, like sticky notes, and I named hers, I wrote on hers, Pickles with an S. As, like, little name tags, basically. I made them little name tags that said Pickles with an S, and then mine needed to have a similar name, and so I went with a P name because alliteration, because I just like that. And I was like, okay, what name can I make it work like that? So I picked Penny with a Y. And then she kept giving me shit about it because she's like, what else would you spell Penny with? And I was like, what else would you spell Pickles with? That's the point. But then I also went and bought them, like, I have Tenchi also has one of these collars from just, like, a cheap cat collar from, like, Walmart, and I bought them matching collars so that they would be cute. Like twinsies. Aww. And then I told her she had to take pictures of Pickles with an S as she was, like, moving and doing stuff. Aww. So that Pickles with an S and Penny with a Y could stay in touch with each other.
Aww. That's really cute.
Yeah.
Wholesome. We are an hour and 30 minutes in.
Yeah, this is a long one.
This is a long episode.
That was my last one, though, that I have, like, a good story behind.
That's good. You have so many good stories. I need to create more good stories.
I also
for
just
my
have
plushes.
so many stuffies that don't really have stories behind them. I just love them so much. Like, I didn't bring him in here because he doesn't really have a story, but I have Resekai, who is a red panda, who kind of looks similarly loved to Tenchi, although not quite as far along, but he's about the same, like, age. And I just, like, bought him on a whim.
Yeah. I do remember him
and his name sounds original, but it's not.
Oh, yeah? What is his name from?
Well, so I just, like, looked him up because he just, in my brain, was, like, partnered with Tenchi. They're, like, bros. They hang out together a lot. And so I wanted, like, kind of a similar sounding name. So Tenchi is a Japanese name, and so I just was, like, looking up red panda stuff and things about red pandas that correlate to Japan. And in Japanese, they're called lesser pandas, Resa panda. That's where the Resa comes from. And Kai just means red.
Aww.
So I just thought it sounded cool together.
That does sound cool.
So basically his name just means lesser red.
I get it. That's adorable.
But Resekai sounds cool. But yeah, he's also just one of my favorites, but he doesn't really have much of a story behind him.
He's very cute. I remember many a binge night just having him in
because I also just, like, after I got him, carried him around for a while.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm very surprised that we've gone this long with
I know,
all our
I figured,
stories,
like,
but
we
I'm
would
also,
be solid with that for the hour, but I didn't think we would take this long.
But, like, I thought we needed a backup plan. We don't.
Yeah. We did not.
We do not. Stuffed animals have a lot of merit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And, I never told the story about Gringer.
Mm.
Oh my god.
Do it. This is gonna be a real fucking long episode.
Uh,
Special first day of Christmas episode.
Sorry, everybody. So, the story of Gringer and Gringer. The first Gringer is Gringer from He-Man. The green and yellow tiger from He-Man. That's just straight up his name.
Is it Gringer or is it's Battle Cat though, right?
It's Battle Cat, and
But-
Gringer is his,
I just was trying to think. I was like,
other
wait,
identity.
What form is he in?
Yeah.
Because I've seen it. But anyway.
And just because, whatever, he's just Gringer. Because I didn't give a fuck about He-Man, I was just like, I begged my mom to buy me this, pack, and it had He-Man and Gringer and Skeletor and the panther that he rides. That panther was so fucking cool. He was, velvet. He had, a velvet, feel, but he was a plastic toy.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I still don't have him is his lower jaw broke off, and I could not find it, so it looked a little goofy. And the velvet got really old, it was just broken, and it was sad.
And a horse figure that was that same kind of velvety stuff, and after a long time it just sort of
just
rubs off and they get bald.
Yeah, they get bald spots. It gets gross, or they start balding, or whatever. Yeah. But I had this set, and not too long ago we went through this giant tub
bins in the basement
of toys that we had in the basement, and we found Gringer, and he still works. He has a little button on his back, and he kind of opens his mouth and paws at you. And he's right here in my room somewhere. I rearranged not too long ago.
He's around.
But that is the story of the original Gringer. Then I think I just stole it from my brother because it is originally a Transformer. I don't know what series it came from, but I decided that, my brother was like, alright, you can have it. I don't really play with it. It's this horrifying, alien creature. And it's got, a yellow, beak jaw thing, and it's got, long black legs, and then it's got, giant claws in the front. And a weird tail sort of thing. It's halfway in between transforming because I was like, alright, this looks like a cool dog thing. So I was like, that's just how I would play with it. And it adopted the name Gringer as well. I don't know why. Probably because my tiny brain cannot handle very many names. So I was like, this is also Gringer. Because I think at the same time I had lost He-Man Gringer. And I had acquired a new-to-me toy. And Gringer just has been my favorite. Well, I can't really describe it very well. So we might have to take a picture and just show you guys this horrifying amalgamation. Its neck doesn't even sit up. Its head doesn't sit up anymore. I had to duct tape it. So he looks up, but he's a horse, alien, bird thing. It's horrifying, but me as a child was just hell yeah. That's the coolest shit I have ever seen.
Feel that.
And
it just reminded me of this toy that, again, when we were digging through those bins, was a toy that found out we both had. That wolf thing. That I think it was your brother's, probably, but mine was also my brother's, but I would steal it all the time. It was also a transforming toy, and it was basically the wolf version of a griffin. And it's got like a wolf body and face, but then it has like bird talons and like eagle wings and stuff, and then it would transform into like a wolf guy.
Shit, I don't remember. But that
I
does
have
sound
mine
really
in my
cool.
room somewhere, and still. But I would do the same thing where I would just transform it like halfway and be like, "This is cooler."
Right? This sort of creature that I have created is way cool. But yeah, that's the story of the two Gringers. And I still have them both. I have horrifying. It's like black and yellow and also red and green, but mostly black and yellow. And I also like markered it silver at one point. I was awful with markers as a kid. Like, I would just draw on everything. I have many littlest pet shops that are just like that. So.
I would get the urge to do that, but I was always afraid of ruining them.
Yeah.
Because that's just what I do when I try to make art things. Just ruin it.
I
Too much,
definitely
Jean.
did ruin them, but like I had nothing telling me, maybe you shouldn't.
Hey, don't be nasty.
Well, I hear the incessant beeping of my mom's machine, so I think that'll be a good time to stop. Unless you have anything else to say.
Merry Crisis.
Merry Crisis!